Welcome to Connections. I'm your host, April Healy, and I'm here with Jason Book. He's the second year Revival Group pastor and my good friend. Hi, Jason. Welcome back.
Thank you. So good to be back.
Good. I'm glad you're here. This is awesome.
Having fun.
Yeah. Okay, so Michael Maiden came a few months ago, maybe 4 months ago, and gave you a word and said, death has come for you twice. And so, can you tell us that word and tell us, what you feel the point of it was and where God's taking it?
Yeah, it was actually the very first time he came.
Okay.
And I actually left church. Like I came and helped set up and then went home and did chores and then came back at the end of church and walked in the auditorium, and I hadn't been in there 30 seconds and he called me out.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And he was like, he called out some really accurate things. He's like,
you with the beard.
Yeah, well, I was clean shaven at the time, but he's like 5 years ago, all in one day, everything in your life changed. Like he called out a specific day, and then he said, and twice in your life, death has come for you. So it just brought to the surface all of the times that it really had. My mom was pregnant with me. Her car got picked up by a tornado while she was in it, and when my siblings, we were all small kids, we got in a bad car accident, and my oldest sister and me got thrown out the back window. She landed on the windshield of the car behind us.
Wow.
And I wound up underneath the car behind us. And
wow.
I was diagnosed with a heart murmur when I was in middle school. And the doctors told me I was going to have heart surgery when I made it to my 30s. But I've been healed of that. I got a lot of stuff to give away.
Yeah.
I've really received a lot of good things from the Lord. I'm very grateful for that. I understand that he loves me and I'm here for a purpose. And I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm glad death didn't win.
Yeah,
that Jesus wins every time.
Never.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a lot that he wants to do in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel like the Lord is highlighting in this season of your life? Like, what are you going after, or what do you feel like he's bringing up right now?
I've been on this kick of being a good steward, just like recognizing the areas that he's moving, the gifts that he's given me, just trying to be or grow in stewardship, finances, relationships, and my time with God, my intimate time with him, my time to practice drums and get better with that, and also work, make sure I'm putting forth the effort where I can feel like, I did good in that season of my life. I did really well. Like I don't want to live with any regrets. Just trying to take everything in and be responsible for everything that's right in front of me.
Didn't you say he was also talking to you about inner healing in this season?
Yeah, I've been dealing with some of that.
That's awesome.
I'm getting healthier. I've had some confrontations that weren't fun, but they needed to happen. I've drawn some boundaries.
With certain people that maybe felt unhealthy in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't look like peace in the making, but peace has been the result in my heart.
I know. I feel like inner healing is one of those things you just always go after in life. And it just gets better and better.
Yeah, you can never have too much.
So do you have anything that you feel like you could speak to single people that are in that spot of waiting for their spouse or waiting for a relationship, like and they're just feeling discouraged? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I would say figure out what God's promises to you are pertaining to your spouse. Hold on to them. I got a word from the Lord in 2005 that I was going to spend the rest of my life with a girl named Kimberly.
I mean, that was 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I actually got to the point I like rejected the word. I'm like, I don't hear from God. I didn't start hearing from God until I came to Bethel, you know, and then he just, when I saw it happening, I was like, oh, I really was right. I didn't make a fool out of myself back when he gave me that word, because
Yeah.
I told some other people, you know, I feel like God's telling me I'm going to spend the rest of my life with a girl named Kimberly. But it came true.
It did. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I held on to it, even though I tried to reject it. I mean, every word spoken from the throne room of heaven doesn't hit the ground. It comes down here and carries itself out and then goes right back. And that's kind of what happened. So I would say figure out what he's promised you. Hold true to that. Honor the standards that you've put on your life. Honor your convictions. And just pray. Like, I prayed the same thing for a lot of years. I want a woman that has a heart for Jesus, and bring her to me. That was my prayer. And he did that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, on a different note, what year of school ministry did you go through BASSM?
I started in 2009.
Was that the second year?
Yes.
Okay.
Second year of the school.
And so how many years did you go through?
I did 2 years here, and then I have a third year certificate, but I was in Cameroon. So I did like the project, and then I came home, and the certificate was in my closet for graduation. Like, I didn't go to graduation. I guess they just gave it to my parents or something.
Yeah. So 3 years really, but
Yeah.
one year was overseas.
Yeah.
And so after going through 3 years of school ministry and now being on staff at school ministry, what do you feel like was some of the most significant things that stood out to you, that changed your life, it changed your world, or something that a student could like be super excited about coming in and getting?
Learning prophecy changed everything, and learning it in a healthy environment, and learning to keep yourself accountable in that, and learning identity about me, about what he thinks about me.
Yeah. Yeah, those are huge.
It was a game changer. Still a game changer. Still learning more.
Yeah.
And then just stepping out there, pushing myself to go after the things I wanted to see happen. I got to a point in my life in my early 20s where I was just like, God, if the stuff in the Bible doesn't happen anymore, then I'm not sure that I'm down with all this. So I kind of went on a personal journey to see if he really was a God of miracles, if he really did heal, if he really did, you know, do all this stuff that you read in the Gospels.
You went on a journey, meaning like you stepped out in a grocery store and asked Jesus to heal somebody, something like that.
When I was in ministry school, I made it a point to try to pray for at least one person a day. Wow. When I was driving around doing work. And then when I went into the mission field full time, I mean, stuff lands in your lap. You don't have to go looking for it.
Yeah.
Literally, something will happen. And it's like, well, I'll regret not doing it if I don't do it. So let's go do it.
Go pray, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, I remember getting in a taxi cab to go home one night in Cameroon, and we drive up the road a little bit and stop, and then a couple gets in a car in the back seat with the little girl, and she's clearly manifesting a demon, and they're like, we need to go to the hospital. And I'm like, I'm not sure the hospital is going to be able to fix that. So I started talking with them, and hey, can I come in the hospital with you guys? And they're like, yeah. And I went in the hospital room with them, and then exchanged numbers with the dad, and wound up going to their house a couple days later, and I saw through her healing. Like, I was going home one night. I could have just
went home,
kept my mouth shut, and got out of the taxi cab at my spot and just let it go. But just some really big opportunities to give God a chance to be God.
That's awesome.
Just fell in my lap.
That's awesome. That's what the school is all about, is stepping out and taking risks and like, okay, Jesus, you have to show up. I trust you. So I'm going to do my part.
Yeah, I can't do it, but you can.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Yeah. Oh, good job stepping out. That's
Thanks.
amazing. Well, thanks for joining us, Jason. I loved hearing all your stories. And man, you have so many places you've just stepped out and taken risks. And it's so inspiring. I love it. And so thanks for joining us. Thanks for telling us all your stories.
I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
You're awesome. And you guys, thanks so much for joining us too. We loved having you, and we'd love to have you back.